I am laughing, okay, because there's a bill that's just been passed in Pakistan to say that every man has to have 2 wives, okay, and they have to be burdened with that responsibility. Let's not call it a burden, shall we, to look after them, because there's too many women in Pakistan now, and the men have to step up their game, and they have to work their butts off, and they have to provide for their women. OMG. There's too many unmarried women in Pakistan, and because of that, they have now passed this bill. Tell me what your thoughts are. Obviously, nobody wants to be a second wife, but over there's a different level of lifestyle. I mean, you've got a lot of poor people, and these women are being neglected, and they are being made public property. So the man, being the responsible protector and the provider, has to do and play his role in accordance with. Now,
what up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this topic because this is a topic we've discussed many a times, which is polygyny. And there are still brothers that contact me. They're still interested. They're still pursuing it. They're getting married for the first time. How do I approach the topic of polygyny with the wife I'm about to marry? A lot of stuff that is on my channel and is available to you to just, dig up and look up. Obviously, with titles and whatnot, it's a bit hard to find this stuff, but it's there. And if you're asking me these questions, then you should probably be watching everything. Nonetheless, I'm going to be covering more and more of these like TikTok clips and things like this. Now, this isn't a new one. This is an old one. And for anybody who doesn't want to watch the whole video and just wants to stop here, it's fake. There was no law, mandate, no regulation, anything that mandated that men have to marry more than one woman in Pakistan. You can't do that religiously anyway. You can't force a woman to marry a man. You can't force a man to marry a woman. You can pressure them through your culture and whatever else, like I like to say, goofy culture, but it's just, there's no compulsion in religion, as we know. So you can't, compel a person to marry people. It's a regulation, you have to do it. So she's exaggerating, whatever else. But she did bring something to light it's a big issue nowadays, which is finding suitable husbands for all these women out here. And I get contacted by brothers left and right. This sister's looking to get married. My daughter's looking to get married. My son's looking to get married. And it's really difficult in this day and age of like just, spoiled brat women to find women that are actually suitable wives for men. And before, it was kind of reversed, where guys weren't serious. They weren't taking life and career serious. And like it or love it, hate it, or just absolutely be disgusted with it, Andrew Tate had a lot to do with the change in the mentality of men. So did the red pill that everybody hates so much. I don't, my opinion on it. I'm not red pill. But whether you like it or not, it had a big effect on men, including Muslim men, which is improve yourself. And brothers took that to heart, and they improved themselves in most of the time good ways, which was, religion, money, and all these types of things. Some brothers just went straight for the money and the muscles, and they left out the religion. But whatever the case may be, they made themselves, at least from a financial and a physical aspect and a standpoint, more suitable mates for women. Now you have this situation where all those men that the women want are gone. And you've got a lot of leftover women just hanging around here. And it's not just Pakistan. You can go anywhere. You can go to Indonesia. You can come here to Europe. You can go to the United States. There are loads. Look how many sisters are accepting Islam in the United States alone. It's insane. The conversion rate in Japan and the United States is going crazy, and it's mostly women. Who's going to marry them all? So now we have that die-hard moment for women and sisters, where brothers were like forced into discomfort. It's like, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to be something if you want the lifestyle that you want, even if you're not polygynous. Even if you just want to be that man that just wants one wife, you have to do the work. And now sisters are on the hot seat because the brothers did the work. A lot of brothers did the work. We have this pushback where people are trying to push us back to like trad-con values or whatever else that are not really going to work in this modern day and age. I'm not saying that you don't take care of your women, that you have these modern fruity-do weirdo relationships. But what I am saying is like that old dynamic is gone and it's not coming back. Well, not at least until we see like, an entire collapse of Western society, which I don't think any of us will see anytime soon. So now it's the sister's turn to do the hard work. And that hard work, that's religious. That's pure heart and iman. And that is the idea that you might most likely have to share a man, especially if you find a really good one. But, you know, a lot of sisters out here, they're finding these really good dudes, and they're trying to push them into this idea that, hey, I can push this guy into a monogamous relationship. And guys know nowadays, brothers know, I don't have to accept this. And they're not. And rightfully so. So now the hot seat's yours, sisters. You're going to have to ask yourself, what are you going to do? Because you, especially you sisters that are starting to hit like older ages, like you're 30 plus, what are you going to do? There's a sister that there's 50 sisters that turn 18 every single day, and all of them looking to get married to the same guy you are. What are you going to compete with her? How are you going to compete with her? She's 18, 19, 20, you're 30. And I'm not crapping on you older sisters, but men don't care about your degrees. Men don't care about your income. Men don't care about your careers. Men generally, Muslim men, don't want you to work. And if you do, your money is your money, and his money is the one that takes care of the household. So unless you're bringing something like that to the table, you know, and the average man doesn't, want to take the money from his woman, but unless you're coming with some sort of like financial like benefit or whatever, something, or equality that's not your obligation, we understand this, and I'm not putting ideas in anybody's head. I'm just saying, in what way will you compete with an 18-year-old? Especially an 18-year-old that's competing with the same man for you, and the man doesn't care about your career, he doesn't care about your finances, and he doesn't care about your education. Some of these weirdo guys from weird cultures and whatever else do, they seem to think there's some sort of connection between the wife getting a degree and the intelligence of the children. There may be some degree of truth in terms of discipline and what she can teach the children, and discipline in terms of like focus and whatnot, because you have to, what is university? It's sitting and doing stuff over and over, like, the ability to focus, to just sit down and complete something from start to finish. That's about it. But you do have those cultures, especially Southeast Asian cultures, they put big value on that with the women. But in general, it's like, he's going to take care of everything anyway. So, you really got to stop and think about it, sisters. There's more and more of you hitting the market every single day. And then some of you out here, you're being goofy, you're going on the internet, you're listening to people on the internet, you're divorcing your husbands, you're going back to your parents' house, you got your single moms now and whatnot, and you think you're going to compete with you're going to compete with Hafsa over there, who's like 22, and she's interested in your man because you ran out the house. And she's like, well, if you're dumb enough to leave, I'm smart enough to take your place. So you're in the hot seat now, sisters. So, yeah, okay, this story isn't true in terms of the law, but it is true in the sense that there are a lot of untaken care of women out there. And you can keep lying to yourself all you want. We know the reality that y'all like relationships, y'all want to be in relationships, and any woman that doesn't is generally broken, and so we don't want you anyway. So those of you out there who are, emotionally and mentally, psychologically, intact and healthy, you have to start asking yourself, how are you going to deal with this? How are you going to compete if you're not that 22-year-old? If you're 18 to 22, this message isn't for you. And we're talking sisters. But you sisters start getting over 25, 30. Even at 25, you're kind of safe. But you start getting over 25, 27, 28, even 27. I'm 53 this year. This month I turned 53, and 27-year-old women are interested in me. So do you see what I mean? There's a 20-plus year age gap, and I'm on the market for those women. Maybe not you. You might say, "Oh, not me, Abuamerican." Yeah, whatever. That's fine. But trust, it's out there. So what are you going to do? How are you going to compete? It's going to be tough times ahead, sisters. The further we get into the future and the more unstable the world gets, the more a stable man who's got his stuff together, the more good he is going to look. And brothers, this is, if you haven't gotten that far, then this is another call to you to get your stuff together. We've been saying it for a long time. So, yeah. Anyway, it's your man Abuamerican. We'll see more of you guys in the near future. I'm out.